Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. Get the Disney bundle today. Includes Hulu ad-supported plan. Terms apply. See DisneyPlus.com for details.
Hi, this is Kenny Gordon of Kenny G & Company Fine Jewelers. I'm excited that you asked for it, and we're bringing it back. It's our inventory reduction flash sale. We've been open for over 23 years and are offering an incredible savings on our unique 50% off in 5 hours. That's right, 50% off in 5 hours. Kenny G & Company in Roseville on August 21st, 11 to 4. You don't want to miss this savings. Check out KennyGandCo.com for details.
But he'd feel better if he just drank enough water. Dad, so I surprised him with a super cool water bottle. Oh, will he use it? He will! And I added some fruit for an orangey twist.
Son, why are you watching me drink?
I'm celebrating healthy victories, Dad. Your victories. So, how do you feel?
I feel refreshed. Celebrate healthy victories. Get tips at CalFreshHealthyLiving.org. A message from the California Department of Public Health, funded by USDA SNAP, an equal opportunity provider and employer.
Think about it. Coverage that lasts a lifetime is included with the purchase of every new Maida Honda. Ah, but you're thinking used? Well, Maida Honda has the largest selection of pre-owned Hondas in the entire Sacramento area. So you're going to find the car you want at a price you'll love. If you're thinking Honda, new or used, think Maida Honda.
See dealer for details. Source internet search April 21.
See all the selection at MaidaHonda.com.
Some fun for the whole dog.
Actually, sir, I'm a puppy.
Paw Patrol, the movie, rated G, in theaters and on Paramount Plus, now playing.
Paid on sign the back and return by mail, at a Dropbox, or in person. Learn more at vote.ca.gov.
Just to get out of the feelings, I'm on the ramp, I'm tricking my hood, nobody gon' tell me. On the couch, I pick my week and show nobody gon' make me smash the dice, get cross the zero, I need cash, those money. Baby, got to the back, you can find that nigga, drop the low, ain't no boy right now, I took her to the O, then I put up on the lamp, cause she a fan of Boonie Mo.
Haz tu casa y auto. Aquí hay algo más que tal vez no sabías. Comer picante te puede alargar la vida. Baja tus tarifas, no tus expectativas. Visita Allstate.com o llama a un agente para una cotización. En muchos estados los precios varían basados en cómo compras ahorros, varían sujeto a términos, condiciones y disponibilidad. Póliza solo en inglés. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company, afiliados, Northbrook, Illinois.
I think you mean make this the save $7,000 off Ram 1500 Bighorns and $11,000 off Ram 1500 Warlocks event. You're right. Untitled, the big savings. Only at last year's Oak Grove Dodge. The Oak Grove Auto Mall and online at oakgrovedodge.com.
Bighorn includes $3,250, Warlock includes $6,250, and Chrysler Capital returning lessee in California National Retail Consumer and Bonus Cash. Must finance with Chrysler Capital OAC at competitive brand vehicle for at least 30 days. Sample bins 311059 and 568416, ends 83121.
Let's get ready to rumble! Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton and Big C Sports. Coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C. And them little boys around the country, I want to say bienvenidos to all of our listeners in Latin America, also across the pond, and London, England, as well as Paris, France. Of course, we love you in Canada and Africa, the Big C tribe. But there's no one we love more than the good old boys down south, around the country, around the world, around the universe. I really appreciate the way things are going with Big C Sports Podcast. I want to say today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. And when you go by and test drive yours, just tell them that Charlton hasn't brought the car back yet. It's all fair in Leavenworth War. Just tell her Big C sent you. Our goal is simple. It's all fair in Leavenworth War. You never stop arriving. Also, all around the world, just say Google or Alexa play Big C Sports Podcast. You will hear from our sponsors. You will hear, welcome to the show. I will introduce myself as a sports universe. And I really do appreciate the way things are going with Big C Sports. You can follow Big C Sports on iHeartRadio Podcast. You can follow Big C Sports on Apple Podcasts. You can follow Big C Sports on Spotify Podcasts, Podchaser, Speaker Podcasts. There's a lot of applications, and I really do appreciate the way things are going with Big C Sports. You can follow Big C Sports on television too. Television too? Yeah, television too. Man, you're not on TV. I am on television. I was telling some people I'm actually on TV. Man, you're not on TV. It's all fair at Leavenworth. You can follow Big C Sports on Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. But you better have a smart TV, or you'll be sitting there looking at us over here. I think the friend that I told I was on television, he said, man, I don't have cable. So it's all fair in Leavenworth. You got to have cable or some type of app to watch it. But I will also say what's important to me is I love giving out our Veterans Crisis Hotline. They really are experienced helping veterans and their loved ones get help. If you know anybody that's a veteran, most of my family came from military service on my father's side, and then my brother, I have a nephew. A lot of people have been part of the military as well, and I really appreciate every veteran around this country. We have a Veterans Crisis Hotline. You know, anybody going through issues, and a lot of people are going through issues, whether it's your own family, or it could even be that person in the mirror. Pick up the phone and call 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255, or you can text. A lot of young kids text now, and a lot of kids are going back to school, and unfortunately, sometimes kids get bullied in school, and that's a fact. If you feel like you're being bullied, pick up the phone, and you can just text 838-255. That's 838-255, and definitely get some help. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net. You can definitely get some help for our veterans and their loved ones. Somebody said, man, Charles, you talk way too fast. I said, oh, yeah? Well, you listen way too slow. It's all fair and love and war. I know what I'm talking about. I want to say I'm very happy to be affiliated with Valley Homes Weekly TV. Let me do it for this person that likes to listen really slow. Valley Homes Weekly TV on direct. Man, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I gotta talk fast. I do everything fast. I drive fast. I read fast. I even eat fast, if that makes sense to you. You can follow Dixie Sports on Valley Homes Weekly TV, on Dish TV, Direct TV, AT&T Uverse, TV 50 of the first place San Francisco Giants, and the Say-Hey Kid, as well as the home run king Barry Bonds. When you reach out to him, just tell him, you know the story now. Charlton was World Series tickets. that's what you tell them. Our goal is to recruit 10,000 real estate agents and brokers all over this great country to help put people back to work, just like McDonald's does. McDonald's does it. Cardinals are doing it. Sports teams are doing it. Watch TV and real estate work for you. Pick up the phone. You can call 800-772-8624. That's 800-772-8624. Or if you want to go online and see who we're all about, go to bigcsports.pacwm.com. Most of our loans are underwritten by Rocket Mortgage, the #1 lender in the country. On the wholesale side, also United Wholesale Mortgage, all fair and level. Where I really want to say, for my friend who says, come on, man, you're not on TV. I looked at my phone and I don't see you on TV. I said, you got to pay the bill. If you don't pay the bill, that phone's not going to work. All fair and level work. But we also want to say thank you to Xfinity, Comcast TV, and Comcast Spotlight Effect TV for presenting Big C Sports to the universe. Just like in Genesis 1:3, God said, play Big C Sports Podcast. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend some of my pastor friends. God said, let there be light. Open your cell phones and say, play Big C Sports Podcast. You will see all of our apps pop up from all over the world. I also want to say today's show is sponsored by your Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol and 100% on your game. That's good for you sports fans. That means, I'm not going to say drink and drive. Definitely don't drink and drive, but it does have 0% alcohol, 100% on the game. So all you sports fans should like it too. It also goes great. I've been getting so many people asking me. You know, it's funny how they ask a black man for his recipe, but they don't ask Colonel Sanders what's in that greasy KFC bucket of fried chicken. Okay, the Budweiser Zero goes great with the Big C Burger. You know the rule. It's a tasty burger. And in the words of the Sam Jackson, what's all this exotic meats? It comes with exotic meats. It's all fair and love and war. It goes great with the Big C Burger. I'm telling you, what a great day to manifest $6 billion. I think the Powerball, or is it Mega Million, they're all about $250 million or $290 million. All fair and love and war. It has a lot of zeros in it, if that makes sense to you. The more zeros, I guess if it has a lot of numbers in front of it, then it's a good thing. If it doesn't, then it's not that good at all. So that's why I want to name myself Zero. How about that? That's the zeros with a $600 million, whatever they got to think of to. All fair and love and war. I really am so happy about this happy Friday. I want to wish everybody a very happy Friday. And remember, you have not because you ask not. Big C Sports, Espy'S nominated Big C Sports Podcast. And I always say, welcome to the show. Let's get ready to rumble. All fair and love and war. Espy'S nominated Big C Sports Podcast, best sports show again, for all of you sponsors that are paying podcasters like myself between $1 million and $10 million a year, all I ask is let me compete for equal time. Just like if you want a slice of pizza, you gotta ask for a slice of pizza. Don't steal it. If you want the Big C burger, we know it's a tasty burger, and it comes with all the exotic meats. You don't shoot somebody for it like Sam Jackson did in Pulp Fiction. Excuse me, did I break your attention or something? What he say? Most people just pull out the money and pay for it. Isn't he always advertising some card you don't leave home without it? He could have paid for that Big C burger with all those exotic meats. But I'm telling you, for you broadcasters and you sponsors, and being Espy nominated, I really appreciate that. I don't sleep. I got about 2 hours of sleep last night because I was I couldn't sleep. I had a lot of energy. At the same time, we are no scripts. People say, yeah, well, that's kind of obvious, Charles. It's all fair level work. No three-way teleprompters. If you watch programs on television where people are making between $1 million and $10 million a year, if the teleprompter breaks, that show's over. It's over! You're fired! That's what the great Donald Trump said. Even Trump used a teleprompter. Joe Biden uses a teleprompter. They all use teleprompters. Big C Sports does it. And again, people say, yeah, that's obvious. It's all fair level work. I don't have a producer in my ear telling me what to say. What I say comes from my heart, my higher self. I speak from my gut. It's a gut instinct. That's how most people survive life. It's a gut instinct. Even blind people can cross the street if they use their instinct and they have a little sign, that little buzz button you press on the side of the road that says wait, or it says go. But they gotta know where it is. They even put those little yellow sidewalks in so even people that have sight impairments, they can get across the street. Well, Big C Sports has gotten across the street, no scripts, no teleprompters, no producer in my ear. And I thank Malcolm for giving me stats, gave me some stats last night. Sometimes get stats from Big C. I get a lot of stats from myself. Even my daughter helped me back in the day when I was starting. And I say this for the people writing big checks for podcasters. Put them on my show. Have them do what I do. Get rid of the teleprompters. Tell them get out. Like the movie Get Out. Tell them get out. You know how sometimes someone comes to your house, they stay too long, you say get out. It's all fair, let it work. Tell them get out. Throw away the teleprompters. Get rid of those script writers, those research people. Let them do it on their own and take all the guests that they have on the TV off the show. Have them do it solo. That's what I'm doing. I'm flying in the cockpit all by myself, and I can fly all around the universe. It's all fair and love and war. Number 1, I produce. Number 2, I direct the topics. Number 3, I broadcast the shows. Number 4, I do all the sound effects on my own. The great Sam Jackson, he knows that. I do them on my own. Number 5, I do the commercials outside of what the agency does. Number 6, I do the stats providing. I have some stats for you today. Number 7, I do all the storytelling. I'm going to tell a story right now. Won't you be my neighbor? It's all fair, love, and war. I think we heard that song growing up as kids. Number 7, again, that's storytelling. Number 8, I quote Bible verses. Matthew 7:7. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. And number 9, I upload every show to about 15 different multiple podcast platforms, and maybe 16 by the end of this month. They're not bringing on Big C Sports Podcast because we're not making them money. They're not bringing on Big C Sports Podcast because they don't want the show. They're not bringing in Big C Sports Podcast because they don't have anything to fill. Even the mothership, I listen to my mothership sometime, ESPN, they will loop the same show 4 or 5 times a day. Why? They don't have the talent that can do it live like Big C Sports does? That's what I'm telling you. And again, congratulations to everybody that can do everything. But for you broadcasters and you sponsors, they're stealing money. I remember going to a restaurant one time. My family's in the restaurant business. And sometimes you go to a restaurant and a little we water down the Kool-Aid. Nah, I'm just teasing. We water down the soda. That's a joke. We don't water down anything. It's all real. We don't water down anything. But there are some places, this great chicken place that I go to, my goodness, they got some of the best chicken in the universe. I really want to thank every bird and chicken that sacrificed their lives for our gluttony. What a joke. But they do it. But you believe some of the chicken, if they leave it out more than an hour, they'll throw it out? Man, when I grew up, we ate chicken, it was a day old. Why are you throwing it out? That's good chicken. They say they throw it out. I think they're throwing it out in the back of their car so they can take it home. That's what I think. I think some chicken legs hang out the back of his truck. But they throw them out. They take them home. And then I also upload to my friend that doesn't have cable TV. Big C Sports Podcast is on 4. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, or 4. 4 TV platforms. I'm just one black man, flying solo through the universe. That's why I say don't make excuses. Anything you want in life, write it down and do it. Everything in your life right now, one time it was just a thought. From the shoes on your feet, to the clothes on your back, to the car you're driving, to the place you're living in. At one time it was just a thought. The last person you dated, it was just a thought. The next person you're gonna date is probably a thought and a wish. Yeah, maybe both. That's all this exotic means. It's all fair and love and war. Everything in your life at one time it was just a thought. So I'm telling you, Espy nominated. I've heard so many knuckleheads over the years. Man, your microphone's not the best. Why don't you get a better microphone? You know, your volume's not good. You know what? Are you getting any commercials? Are you getting any sponsors? Hey man, how's that show going for you? It's almost every continent. How's that sound to you? What's new? It's all fair level. What's new? What's new? Yeah, sometimes people want to criticize, and when you get nominated for a show and you're looking at $100 million, they say nothing. All fair and level work. I've never missed a show since creating Big C Sports on September 12th, 2015. Coming up on that anniversary in less than a month now. Big C Sports is the only sports show in the universe that pays homage to God every show. Genesis 13:15. For all the land that thou seest will I give you, and thy seed forever. The book of James 4:2. When you want something, remember this. We have not because we ask not. So just ask. The answer is only yes or no. And if you don't ask, isn't it no? Because you're afraid? Look at that guy in the mirror or that woman in the mirror and just say, I just don't have the guts. Because what if somebody doesn't like me? I don't have a lot of people that like me. I have some people that love me. I have some people that love to not like me. It's all fair everywhere. And I have some people that love to not love me. If that makes sense to you, it's all fair everywhere. It's a crazy mixed up world. It's a dog-eat-dog world. I think that's the great Snoop Dogg when he was doing his thing. All fair and level war. I really love what's going on in the world of sports. A lot of good things happening in the sports universe. Keep in mind that everything you want in life, you got to make it happen. Don't blame your friend. Don't blame your mama. Don't blame your daddy. Don't blame your best friend, your whatever. Some people love you. Some people hate you. That's just the way it is. Before I go to the Big C pause, I want to just say that's why Big C Sports is Espy nominated through Disney Corporation. All I ask, I know sometimes people don't want our praise. It's a fact. Sometimes people don't want to give African Americans praise. All life came from Africa. Every pale person, every dark-skinned person, it all came from the African continent. You rarely hear that on any other program. You have these people that have Ancestry.com. They usually stop at 1 or 2 generations. They don't tell you back to the origination of people on the planet. Google Dr. Leakey, considered the father of paleontology. They study bones, skeletons. And then Google Dr. Gregory Mendel, especially you kids going back to school. He's considered the father of genetics. DNA. That's what we look like, the skin melanin, where we all come from. There's a dominant gene and there's a recessive gene. The dominant gene, it can reproduce the recessive gene. The recessive gene, it cannot reproduce the dominant gene. If people knew that, there'd be less racism on this planet. Because how could you hate your father that you came from? All fair and love and war. I want to pay homage to my family. I will always do that on every show. People who did not have a chance to broadcast their thoughts and prayers to the universe. But as my great-grandmother said, called her Hattie Leach, we called her Mama. She told my mother, baby, when they're babies, they're on your lap. And when they're grown, they're on your heart. So for everybody that cares about somebody that you can't see or you don't know where they are, just put it in prayer. Do you know where your loved ones are? And just put it in prayer, and sometimes they'll show up. That's what happened in my family. I want to thank Mama and Pop, my great-grandmother and great-grandfather. I want to thank Mud Deer, my grandmother on my mom's side, and Hezekiah. And then I want to thank my beautiful mother, the best mother in the history of the universe. And that's a fact. She don't need an Espy. She got the universal vote from God. On my father's side, Albert Curry, former Baptist minister, and my grandmother, Alberta Curry, who told me when I was 8 years old, she said, there's something about your voice. I love hearing you speak. At the same time, some people say, man, you sound too white. Some people say, man, you don't sound black enough. I was doing a commercial. You know, they own the signage for the San Francisco Giants now. Back in the day, I went down to the South Bay. I got a lead from KGO TV over in San Francisco. And I went down to the South Bay to film an audio commercial. They just wanted the voice. I was recommended by ABC Television in San Francisco. One of the top, that's the number 4 media market in the United States of America. They recommended me down there. I just won a Bay Area Broadcast Cable Excellence Award. So for all you people that say I don't sound black enough, or I don't sound white enough, the check was green enough, if that makes sense to you. If the check is green, don't worry what people say about you. But I went down there before I come up on the pause, and they had me read. It was for a high-tech company. And they said, man, you sound good, but we were wondering, you know, if you could, and they had their arms crossed. We were wondering if you could sound like more Street. I said, give me an example of what more Street sounds like. Now these are 2 pale white dudes in some polo shirts and blue jeans. I said, give me an example of what more Street sounds like. And they said, well, you know what I mean. I said, no, I don't. I came down here from San Francisco. I want you to tell me what does sounding more Street sound like. And they said, more black. I said, I'm blacker than both of you guys. Isn't that black? Is black? Whatever I am is blacker than you. It's all fair to work. They weren't hearing that. They wanted someone coming in there, this is what I want to do, because oftentimes they'll make fun of those guys and they'll give them jobs. It's all fair level work. We're going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. In the words of the great Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. All right, we're back from the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the #1 podcast network in the universe, iHeartRadio podcast. You can follow Big C Sports on Apple Podcasts. You can follow Big C Sports on Google Podcasts. There's so many apps you can follow, and I really do appreciate the way things are growing with Big C Sports. You can follow Big C Sports on Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. Ready to have a smart TV? Oh, you'll be like my friend who had his cable cut off. That's all fair and war. After they asked me for $50 after saying, oh man, you're not on TV. $50? Come on, man, I'm not on your TV. It's all fair and war. I really appreciate all the thoughts and prayers from my grandparents and parents and family members over the years. I want to bring up something that's real serious because I always advocate no excuse for domestic violence, no excuse for racism. That comes from my beautiful mother. But I want to just remind the world, especially young black boys going back to college, you're not always treated the same. I mean, a couple years ago, maybe a decade ago, Tiger Woods, the great golfer Tiger Woods, he was, whatever he was doing with his wife and the girlfriends, I believe most people are polyamorous anyway. They just lie about it. They don't have the guts to say what they really want. So they sneak around. But Tiger Woods, he had, again, mainstream media jumped on this man because women were offering him the Big C burger, the tasty burger, and it comes with exotic meats. They were offering him wherever women offer men. They offered it to him. So, and a lot of men know what I'm talking about because some guys pull out their wallet for it. Most men don't have to do that. At the same time, his wife breaks out the window of his Escalade and he crashes the car into a tree. And then he lost $100 million in sponsorship because it was said that he had gone out and done what's all these exotic meats. At the same time, it's how all of us got here. Adults do what they want to do. I believe you should ask for what you want and let people say, yes, you can have it. It's yours. It's yours. It's time. If that makes sense to you. Ask, is it yours? And if a woman says it's yours, then you can say it's time. So Tiger Woods, and I wasn't there, but based on what happened, he did not commit a crime. But his sponsors, primarily white, like the guys that say, can you do this commercial for us? But can you sound more, let's see if can you sound more black? First they said they wanted me to sound more street than more black, right? But she breaks out. She's a white woman. Breaks out the window of his Escalade. It's all over the media. They chase him around. He loses $100 million in sponsorship. They even made the man go have therapy because he was having too much sex. What in the world kind of therapy would they give him? What would Noah and Moses would have thought about going to therapy? They had 700 wives and concubines. Moses, God said you got to have some therapy, man. He said, therapy? Why do you need therapy? Because you've been doubled in too many exotic meats. I think it's true. Come on, we got websites where people swipe left and swipe right so they can do what Tiger was doing for free. For free! Like a three-point shot. But he lost $100 million in sponsorship. And I'm serious why I'm bringing this up, because Deshaun Watson's in the news for whatever allegedly happened with the massage parlor or masseuse that were flying around and said that I guess they touched his private parts with their hands closed. I don't know any woman that says she could do that with her hands closed. At the same time, it's a serious accusation because women should be believed also. I got a test. Every woman and man, get a glass of water, 8-ounce glass of water. Most people can hold that in their hand. Now close your fist and pick up the bottle of water or the glass of water. Come on, I give it to you. Don't use two hands. Use one. Pick up the glass of water with your fist closed. And because that, Deshaun Watson is being accused and threatened to lose $100 million. There's a Major League Baseball player. The pitch, hit deep, right field, back to the wall, home run. And this is a real story, people. Because it's so important, I want to bring it up to everybody, especially young black boys. The justice system not the same. The Major League Baseball universe pitcher, Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer, he gets a big win. He really hit deep, right field, back to the wall, home run. He really hit deep. He really got a home run in Los Angeles court. He got a home run in the court system. When I tell you this story, you can Google it. It's all over the news. And when you just put it on an island by itself, it may not make sense to you. But Tiger Woods lost $100 million in sponsorship because white Americans didn't like the fact that he was having whatever he wanted from women, that they were offering it to him. He didn't take it. But then you got this good old boy, Trevor Bauer. He sexually brutalized a woman, according to the court documents, so bad that she was hospitalized. Tiger Woods lost $100 million because women wanted to give him what he wanted. Hit deep, right field, back to the wall, home run. They were offering that to him. Every man and woman knows what I'm talking about. The judge, listen up, ladies. The judge concluded the photos were so horrific. Google horrific if you don't know what that means. But would not grant a permanent restraining order for the woman. Deshaun Watson, they're threatening him with losing the season on the NFL also. But Tiger Woods lost $100 million. They made him go to sex therapy because he was having too much sex. Like Noah, like Solomon in the Bible. Think about that. Trevor Bauer, he's white. You know, those white boys told me, could you sound more, we like your voice, but could you sound, more, could you sound more like, sound more black? As they wanted me to read a commercial for the corporation that sponsors the ballpark in San Francisco. I don't want to lose my World Series pass, but they know it's true. At the same time, the LA Dodgers starting pitcher, Trevor Bauer, finally caught a break, got a huge win in court, could be back on the mound at some point this season. You mean they're not going to send him to sex therapy for brutalizing a woman so bad that she had to go to the hospital? But Tiger Woods, a black man, had the window broken out of his Cadillac Escalade by a white woman. They made him go to counseling. They didn't send her to counseling. She went to the court. And the white jury, they gave her $500 million. You can Google it. I'm not making this up, people. Los Angeles Dodgers star Trevor Bauer is used to being in the spotlight. He's outspoken and does not shy away from controversy. which is why he's one of the biggest characters in all of Major League Baseball. Nonetheless, he's recently been all over the news. Listen up, ladies, when you swiping left and swiping right for the wrong reasons. The woman accused him of assault, sexual assault, even tried to file a restraining order against him. Obviously, he has not been allowed to pitch ever since. Think about that. Bauer and his camp alleged that the woman was just trying to shake him down and frame him with false evidence. I guess the bruises on her eyeballs and her busted lip was false evidence, huh? But he's white. The judge denied the restraining order against Bauer. They made Tiger Woods go to sex counseling after they took away $100 million. I know race doesn't matter. Michael Jackson said, "It doesn't matter if you're black or all right." It does, Michael. It's always mattered. According to reports by the Los Angeles Times, a judge denied the restraining order petition against him. So while it's unclear, you gotta hear this because I know you want to know who won the game. I know you want to know the pitch. Hit deep, left field, back to the wall, home run. We'll get into some of that too. You'll hear some of that. But a judge, well, you're supposed to go to get news, at least some justice. A judge denied the restraining order petition against him. So while it's unclear what effect that will have on his paid leave, he's paid to leave. He's paid to be on leave. Think about it, people. Tiger Woods, having too much sex, got to go to counseling. He didn't choke a woman out in the hotel or in her room or wherever they did the thing. He didn't beat up a woman so bad that she had to go to the hospital. One's black, one's white. The court denies the request for a long-term restraining order. The judge is a woman. If she sets the limits and he exceeded them, this case would be clear. I guess the bruises on her face and her lip were not enough for the judge. But he did not exceed the limit she set. Bauer won the hearing, totally unclear what it means to Major League Baseball or potential criminal charges. Major League Baseball. Tiger Woods lost $100 million, and they made him go to therapy because he was having too much sex. He wasn't beating the hell out of women. He wasn't choking women out. He wasn't choking women unconscious. But this white player, you know what they care about? The pitch. Hit deep, right field, back to the wall, home run. The judge denied the request for a long-term restraining order. The judge said she set the limits and exceeded them, the case would be clear. But he did not exceed the limits she set. The Bauer won the hearing. I want to ask any woman, how could you object to something that's happening when you're choked unconscious? Justice in black and white. Read the book, The Color of Law. You only hear about this on Big C Sports. Most of our brethren, they're arguing, this guy's bigger, stronger, and faster than this other guy. I can't believe you said this guy runs faster than the other guy. I can't believe you said this guy can throw the football farther than the other guy. That ain't going to keep you safe going back to college campuses. The fact of the matter is, if you're a white male and you beat up a woman and you choke her out, according to this judge in Los Angeles, ain't no restraining order. Tiger Woods lost $100 million. There was a guy named Ray Rice, and I'm against violence of any type. There should not be unless it's self-defense. He punched his wife. It was on film, on video. He got suspended from the league. A couple other players that's happened to also got suspended from the league. Hardy. A lot of guys been in their own situations. But this guy's white. And the biggest thing they have, how can we get him to play baseball again? The pitch, hit deep, left field, back to the wall. Yeah, think about that, ladies. And I think one of the representatives said, while I have allowed my representatives to speak on my behalf over the last 6 weeks, I can no longer be silent. I will speak very candidly about the current petition when appropriate, but need to be addressed the allegations made in the Washington Post. I mean, people can Google that story. I just think it's a pretty bad system. when a woman judge will not even defend another woman. They're not asking him to go to prison for battery. They just wanted a restraining order. They said nothing about locking him up in prison. Just suppose that to R. Kelly. I mean, I don't know the whole situation. One is about being underage. So I guess if you're underage, you go to prison. Or in the Cosby situation, if they say that you put something in somebody's drink, you go to prison. They're both black men. Bob Kraft, owner of the Patriots, solicitation of prostitution twice. He said, I'll be back. They had him under surveillance. The judge threw the tape away. He's white. What's the difference other than skin color? So who knows what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson, 22 accusations. And he lost $100 million in sponsorship so far. And Trevor Bauer, I don't know if he's lost any sponsorship, but the Dodgers cannot wait to get him back on the mound. The pitch, struck him out! 95-mile-per-hour fastball. That's what they're looking for. So just keep that in mind as you guys think everything is fair in love and war, that you can do the same thing that your counterparts can do. You can't. I tell a lot of young African-American kids, and some will listen to me, some of them don't. And you got to do what you want to do. When you get involved in the drug business, and you want to go out, and Kevin Durant did a thing where he's being a part of a cannabis company. A lot of people do cannabis, whatever they want to do. You just got to make sure you're in the legal limits, because you can also go to prison. It's still illegal on the federal level. There's still people in prison right now because they violated the federal law. State laws are different. You got to know the difference. So when somebody's bringing you marijuana or whatever they're bringing you and you're driving around with it in your car, if you get pulled over, you know you can be arrested and go to jail. Yeah, but I thought it was legal. On the state level, maybe, but not the federal level. Every law is trumped by the federal courts. Every state law. If that were not the case, we would still have legal segregation. Miscegenation was also illegal on the state level. On the federal level, they abolished miscegenation laws. So keep that in mind. I wanted to bring that up because there's so many people that love what athletes do, and sometimes they're enamored. I say no woman deserves to be choked out, and for him to say, well, she wanted it. Really? So what if he were to go out and choke the judge? You think the judge would be okay with it? I doubt it. They put handcuffs on him. But the judge stood, they're not asking the man to go to prison. They're just saying a restraining order. So he won't do it again. But he's white, and they're doing everything they can to make it go away. And they still drag Deshaun Watson through the media. Keep in mind, people, Big C Sports is real. That's why we're Espy dominated. It's all Fred Lamore. The pitch hit deep. Left field. Back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friend. All Fred Lamore. The girls love the long ball, and men love to hit deep. Today's Major League Baseball schedule. A beautiful Friday, August 20, 2021. Atlanta flies into the city of Baltimore. Going to fly into Baltimore, Maryland. And on the mound, keep in mind, for the road team, the Atlanta Braves, Keegan Aiken is pitching on the mound. And then at bat, pay attention to Dansby Swanson. That's my prop betting friends down in Las Vegas. And I know I did a good job for my prop bettors because I still got all my fingers. So now I can eat all those exotic meats when I eat the Big C burger. It's all fair in love and war. I really appreciate everything that's going on in the world of Big C Sports. I want to fly out of Baltimore, Maryland. I want to get away. I want to fly away. The great Lenny Kravitz. Yeah. I'm feeling so good. It really is a happy Friday. Gonna fly into New York City. I'm gonna fly into LaGuardia Airport because last time I flew into Kennedy, someone stole my bags. It's all fair and level war. I guess they were looking for all those exotic meats. That way, don't pack hamburgers in your luggage next time you fly to an airport. Some of those sky captains, they will eat the Big C burger. They know it's a tasty burger, and they know what's all this exotic meat. They were sharing it with the other sky caps. I know because I saw them. I do a little trick. So every luggage that I ever track, I can track it. I know where it goes. They returned my luggage, but the burgers were missing. They said they couldn't confirm or deny if there were ever any Big C burgers in the luggage. I know there were Big C burgers in there. I had 12 of them, all fair level work. The New York Yankees, I'm telling people the Yankees are challenging. They're challenging for the American League pennant, all fair level war. They're playing the Minnesota Twins, and pay attention to this game. Pitching on the mound for Minnesota, the great Charlie Barnes, that good boy, is a good pitcher. And then Pay attention when the Yankees are at bat. You have Luke Voigt and also Joey Gallo. I'm telling you that the Yankees are on a roll. I think they've won 18 of 22. I might be wrong. I think it's 18 of 22 or somewhere along that line. All fair and level war. We're going to fly out of New York City, out of LaGuardia Airport again, because somebody ate my Big C burgers at LaGuardia. They know it's a tasty burger. It's all fair and level war. Going to fly into Toronto, Canada. Toronto taking on Detroit. And Detroit comes into town. I'm telling you, look at the pitching. Pay attention, Robbie Bay on the mound for Detroit. Or some of my friends say Detroit. I call it Detroit. My friends call it Detroit. They emphasize the D. And then at bat, Emir Cardero. And then Jonathan Scoop. Pay attention to him, as well as Grayson Greiner. Again, I'm not doing anything to lose any of my fingers when I go back to Las Vegas. I love when they put me up at the Bellagio or the MGM Grand, all fair in Leavenworth. I'm going to fly out of Toronto, Canada. I'm going to fly back into the States, into the city of Cincinnati, Ohio, and the Miami Floridas will follow me. Also, the Miami Marlins from the beautiful city of Miami on the mound for the Cincinnati Reds, Sonny Gray. That's a good old boy. He can do his thing. And then think about coming up to bat is Miguel Rojas. Also Nick Castellanos. Pay attention to those good old boys. That comes from my prop betting friends down in Las Vegas. We're going to fly out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Going to fly into Cleveland. This is for you. All fair and level war. The great LeBron James. The Cleveland Indians are soon to be called the Cleveland Guardians. I like the Guardians name more than the Indians. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And last I checked, Shohei Ohtani, he might be too tired to hit home runs tonight. He's been smacking around balls like people smack around flies. It's all fair and level war. Pitching on the mound. When you look at what's happening with the Cleveland's a good team. Again, I call them the Guardians. I know they're still the Indians, but just I want to see them be the Guardians. Jaime Baera, that good job. He does a good job. And then pay attention at the bat when the Angels are up is Jose Ramirez. Also Ahmed Rosario. And then Miles Straw. So keep that in mind when you're hearing about what's going on in the great game of baseball. Going to fly into the city of Tampa, Florida. Tampa International. The pitch. Hit deep. Left field. Back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friend. All square 11 war. Chicago White Sox. I really love what Tony La Russa is doing with that great ball club out of Chicago. And pitching for the White Sox is Michael Wacha. He's a good old boy, can do his thing. Pay attention at the bat is Lewis Roberts, especially when it comes to maybe will they get an RBI. That's just a prop bet clue for you good old boys down in Vegas. Also, Sabi Zavala and also Lewis Roberts. Keep in mind, I'm not giving out too much more detail because I want to keep all my fingers. It takes all my fingers to eat the Big C burger. And this segment sponsored by Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, 100% honest game, all fair and level war. Gonna fly into the city of Boston, Massachusetts, where they have the Green Monster, that big old wall out in left field. I love Fenway Park. The Boston Red Sox, they have a little bit of hitch in their giddy up lately. They know they got to get things rounded out. The Texas Rangers fly into town. That might be just what the doctor ordered when Texas comes to town. When the Texans come to town, you're probably going to win. On the mound, when you look at the pitching, just keep in mind, for Texas, it's Dane Dunning. I took the name Dane Dunning. But at the bat for Boston, Jarren Duran. Also, Andy Ibanez. Keep that in mind for your prop bet specialist. I'm going to fly out of Boston into Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I'm going to tell you the Washington Nationals are going to follow. The Milwaukee Brewers are 32-27 at home. The Nationals are 21-35 away. Overall, the Brewers are 74-48 on the season. The Nationals are 52-68, all fair and level war. The pitch, hit deep, center field, back to the wall, caught at the warning track. It's all fair and level war on a great 3-2 pitch. But the away pitcher for the Nationals is the great Patrick Corbin. He's 6-12 on the season. His ERA is not very good. It's 6.04 ERA. The home team, Brett Anderson, he's 4-6 on the season. Not that impressive. But his ERA is a 4.09 ERA. Not a Jedi Knight. Wasn't trained by the great Obi-Wan Kenobi, but he's still a good pitcher. Going to fly out of the beautiful city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, into Texas. Going to fly into Houston International, Texas. The Astros taking on the Seattle Mariners coming out of the great Northwest. Now the Astros, the great Dusty Baker, they're 37-23 at home. They're 71-50 overall. The Mariners are 29-31 away. They're 66-56 overall. On the mound for the away team, the Mariners, Yu Kishi. He has 7-6 on the season. He has a 3.82 ERA. He's a good old boy. He's a flamethrower. He was trained by the great Obi-Wan Kenobi long ago in a galaxy far, far away. For the home team down in Houston, they will have the top close because it gets very humid, especially for people from Seattle. Lance McCullers Jr., he's a great pitcher. He's 9-4 in this season. He has a 3.22 ERA. That good boy is a Jedi Knight. He's a flamethrower, and I really look forward to seeing what happens in that game. We're going to fly out of the beautiful city of Houston and going to fly into the beautiful city of St. Louis, Missouri, home of the Arch. It's a beautiful city. The Arch is pretty right there in the Mississippi River. The Cardinals are 33-27 at home. The Pirates are 18-44 away. You make the call. On the mound for the Pirates, Mitch Keller, 3-10 on the season, a 6.86 ERA. Nothing to write home about. The home pitcher, Miles McCullers. His name is actually Miles Nicholas. He has a 2.25 ERA. You make the call. There's a reason the Cardinals are 62-58 on the season and 33-27 at home. Really like that. Going to fly out of St. Louis to Colorado, Denver, Colorado. I hear this game started at 4:20 p.m. You people in Denver knows what that means. At the same time, the Rockies are 41-21 at home, but they're only 55-66 overall. The Diamondbacks, they're 14-45 on the road. They're 41 overall. They only won 41 games. That's not good this time of year. On the mound, the away pitcher for the Diamondbacks, Tyler Gilbert, and the home team, Austin Gomer, is 9-7. He has a 4.09 ERA. I'll say he slides into being a Jedi Knight. It's all fair. And Leavenworth can do his thing. I want to fly out to the West Coast. It's called the Bay Bridge Rivalry. When the Giants come to town, it's bye, baby. We heard that before. The San Francisco Giants, the best team in baseball, they are 78-43. They are 36-24 away. The A's are 69-53, and they're 34-25 at home. I think the A's will at least get one win in this series, but I look for the Giants to win this series, maybe 3 games or 2. Just my opinion. On the mound for the away team, the great Alex Wood for the Giants. He's 10-3 on the season. He has a 4.14 ERA. So I'm going to call him a Jedi Knight. Just borderline Jedi Knight. He's a flamethrower. In the Oakland Athletics, on the mound is James Caprellin. That good boy is a 6-4 on the season. He has a 3.33 ERA. He's a flamethrower, trained by the great Jedi Knight Obi-Wan Kenobi. Going to fly out of San Francisco after the Bay Bridge series. Going to fly into Sylvester Ravine, beautiful Dodger Stadium. And I know that Trevor Bauer is going to dominate the news in L.A. That good boy, I don't know. How does Tiger have to go to sex counseling and he gets to keep playing baseball? One's black, one's white. You Google it. Read The Color of Law. The Mets fly in to Dodger Stadium. Sylvester Ravine, the pitch. Hit deep. Right field. Back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friend. It's all fair. In Leavenworth, the girls love the long ball, and men love to hit deep. It's all fair in Leavenworth. On the mound for the away team, Carlos Carrasco. He has a 10.32 ERA for the Mets. That's not good at all. Why even get off the plane? The plane. Remember I think that movie back in the day. The plane, boss. The plane. I forgot the name of the movie. But I knew they talked about the plane. All fair Leavenworth. For the home team, the Dodgers, this is why they will challenge the Giants for the National League West and even challenge for the World Series. Walker Buehler, that good boy, is 12-2. He has a 2.09 ERA. He's a flamethrower. He's a Jedi Knight. He was definitely trained by the great Obi-Wan Kenobi. Keep in mind of what he can do. That good boy, 2.09 ERA. You may as well go back home and go to sleep. It's all fair. And Leavenworth going to fly out of LAX, right down the I-5 to San Diego International. The Padres take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, the Phillies, they're 25-35 on the road. The Padres are 40-24 at home. On the road, in the mound for Philadelphia is Matt Moore, only 2-6 on the season, 6.07 ERA, not that good. The home team, Blake Snell, is pitching. He's 6-4 on the season, has a 4.80 ERA. Not a Jedi Knight, not a flamethrower, but he still knows how to do his thing. All fair in Leavenworth. I want to close out tonight's baseball schedule with the beautiful city of Chicago, the Cubs. The Cubs are kind of struggling. They're in the Windy City. Normally they're a better team than the White Sox, but not this year. The Kansas City Royals fly into Chicago. They'll fly into Chicago O'Hare Airport, and the great Harry Carey, take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. I just want to see the Cubs win. It's all fair and more. The pitch, hit deep, right field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friend. The girls love the long ball, and the men love to hit deep. Kansas City, they have a good at-bat in this game. It looks like they did. This on the mound, pay attention what Brad Keller did for Kansas City, and then Zach Davies, what he did for the home team, the Chicago Cubs. All fair and level war. I love so much about the sports game. I love that Big C Sports SB nominated. No teleprompters, no directors, no producer in my ear. I know some people say, yeah, that's pretty obvious, Charlton. But what about all those exotic meats? All fair and level war. And again, backed by popular demand, segment sponsored by the Big C Burger. It is a tasty burger. In the words of the great Sam Jackson, what's all this exotic meat? It comes with exotic meat. It tastes better in your mouth than it does in your hands, as most things do. If that makes sense to you. If something tastes better in your hands than it does in your mouth, go to the doctor. Get it checked out. All fair and level war if you got to go to the doctor. NFL football. A lot of good old boys getting ready for some NFL football this weekend. Are you ready for some football? We know it's just preseason, but it's all fair and level war. You know, last night, all the talk about Cam Newton and Mac Jones, when you see what the great Cam Newton did last night, he only had one incompletion, and that was a drop pass. Cam Newton was doing his thing. I mean, everybody has their own thoughts about who should play. And again, Belichick's going to keep it close to the best because he's a coach. He can say what he wants to say. He can do what he wants to do when it comes to that. But for anyone who saw that game, they blew out Philadelphia. And I do know this. The Patriots have a solid defense. They've always had a defense. Every one of their Super Bowls, and I may be wrong, except for one, they all came down to less than a touchdown. Less than a touchdown. And Tom Brady was able to get 6 Super Bowl championships and 1 in Tampa. But it's not like they were blowing people out. Like when the Raiders blew out the Redskins back in the day, I think that was like 38-10. They also blew out the Eagles. I think that was 27-10 when the Raiders were doing their thing. They were also blown out by Tampa because they had the playbook. They had the playbook. I think that was 48-28. But it's all fair and level war. Keep in mind, there's a couple of games on deck today. The Bengals are at Washington. That game's already underway. Kansas City is at the Arizona Cardinals down in the desert. Tomorrow, the Buffalo Bears take on the Chicago Bears. You're going to see Josh Allen, and he's going to do his thing. I still feel like Justin Fields is going to be a star in the making for the Bears. If they trust Justin Fields, hold him out for a couple of games like they did touchdown Patrick Mahomes, the Bears will most likely become a playoff team. If not this year, then by the next. The Jets, the Jets, Jets, they're on the road at Lambeau Field, taking on the Green Bay Packers. That's a 1:25 p.m. kickoff tomorrow. The Falcons are taking on the Miami Dolphins down in the beautiful city of Miami, even though that stadium's in Fort Lauderdale. 4 p.m. kickoff tomorrow, East Coast time. The Baltimore Ravens, they're taking on the Carolina Panthers, some good old boys. It's a 4 o'clock kickoff, East Coast time. The Detroit Lions are in Steeltown taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. Never had a losing season. And they'll take on the Lions. Big Ben Roethlisberger may sit out, but he's going to have his swan song. Not like the great Lynn Swan, but the swan song for the Steelers this year. He may surprise some people and still throw for 3,500 yards. Tennessee Titans, they're at the defending Super Bowl champion. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 4:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time. The Houston Texans, they're at the how about them Cowboys? The Dallas Cowboys. And McCarthy's saying he's going to keep out Dak Prescott. I don't know why. What are you going to do? Get him unrusty when regular season kicks off? Texas at the Cowboys at the Battle of Texas. And then the Indianapolis Colts, they're at the Minnesota Vikings when they have that horn. I'm going to do my best horn impression. Don't laugh. It sounds like a moose. Sound like a moose. I did the best I could. I know it sounds like a moose. All fair. Speaking of moose, how about the Big C Burger? It's a tasty burger, and it comes with all these exotic meats. It's all fair, love, and war. And then we have the Raiders. They're flying into Los Angeles, and they will take on the Rams at beautiful SoFi Stadium. Isn't it amazing the Raiders and the Rams have new stadiums? And the Chargers, they were all California teams, and the Niners just built a new stadium just a couple of years ago at Levi Stadium, so that should be a good game. Hopefully the fans don't have more fights. They got to crack down on fighting. The Broncos will fly into the Great Northwest, take on the Seattle Seahawks. The New York Giants will take on the Cleveland Browns. The Browns have the dog pound over in Cleveland. This is for you, the great LeBron James. And the 49ers want to see this game down at SoFi Stadium on Sunday. They're taking on the Los Angeles, the Chargers, the Thunderbolts, the Lightning Bolts. It's a 4:30 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time. And then we have on Monday, the Jacksonville Jaguars are down in the South taking on the New Orleans Saints. And that's Sean Payton's home. And we'll see what touchdown Jameis Winston can do. All fair and level. We're really looking forward to a lot of good things happening in the world of sports. You know, sometimes you gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. You can sing, clap, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting. You suck, man. You can't sing like Kenny Rogers, man. You suck. I've heard that before from a lot of people. Yeah, I can't sing like the great Kenny Rogers used to do his thing. But the great Terrell Owens, I remember being in the 49er locker room. Steve Young was doing his thing on offense. They had just beaten the Green Bay Packers. Brett Favre, the Minister of Defense, Reggie Wright was there also at Candlestick Park. But Terrell Owens was in the locker room, and he had a light green suit on. He's a very sharp-dressed man. His physique is as good now as it was then. But Terrell Owens hasn't played for an NFL team since 2012. That's a long time. He might pull a hamstring. But the Hall of Famer still believes that he has what it takes to compete at the professional level. I mean, doing an appearance on NFL Network's Good Morning Football, Owens had a message for anyone who thinks that his playing days are long gone. He hasn't scored a touchdown in 8 years. Maybe 9, if you count coming up to the season coming up. But he said, there's no doubt, there's only one me. I can do what people never expect. I say give him the chance. They gave Tim Tebow a chance. And Tim Tebow was not the athlete that Terrell Owens is. Give the man a chance. People might say, oh, he can't do it. Who is he to try? Everyone has to try. You got to believe in your dreams. You got to believe that you can fly. You got to believe you can touch the sky. I'm going to do my best, R. Kelly. I believe I can fly. You guys can cheer. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Yeah, I'm going to fix the sports podcasting. And no! Being booed for singing, I believe I can fly! Big C! It's all fair. And level one, the great Bruce Buffer. Just know what you're good at. And some people might question that. But Espy nominator, are you? Is all fair. In level one, LeBron James rumors. LeBron James opened the former LA Clippers, Patrick Beverley, coming to the Lakers. We'll see what happens if he joins the Lakers. You know, it's all fair in Love and War if he does join the Lakers. The Lakers have still a top destination for NBA basketball. It's a city of champions, 17 championships, all fair in Love and War for the LA Lakers. It's must-see TV, whether they have them or not. But they've had one of the most dynamic off-seasons in recent memory with the acquisition of all-time scoring leader, the former MVP and former Lakers champions. Now, do they add another nemesis in the form of Patrick Beverley to that list? He's a defensive hawker. He doesn't let you take the flop on him. You got to go after him. You can't just flop on Beverley. You can't drive the paint. You may score 26 points in the game, but he's not going to flop. You can score, you can dunk. All you got to do is ask. 26 points is yours. Ask, and you shall receive. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Whether he plays or not, I love NBA basketball. It's fantastic. I wish everybody nothing but the best. It's a great day for a great weekend of sports. I know a lot of people love sports. It's a billion-dollar industry, and boys and girls sports is the foundation to this billion-dollar industry. That's what I love so much about Big C Sports. Everybody, be safe. Don't drink and drive. No matter what you're doing, it can wait. Please don't text and drive. If you got a text, pull over, because that text can wait. That text, believe me, it can wait. Pull over. And everybody knows what that means. I just want to close out. The Los Angeles Chargers placed Nasar Adderley and Ryan Smith on COVID-19 list. And then You have Jacksonville Jaguars coach Urban Meyer sets timetables on naming starting quarterback. We know it's Trevor Lawrence. And then I want to, ex-Arizona wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald doesn't have the urge to play NFL football right now. He's a good old boy. I really look forward to every athlete that wants to lace it up and do whatever they can to win. I love everyone for following Big C Sports. Unscripted, no teleprompter, no producer in my ear. Back in the day, there's a man by the name of Drew Burdini Brown. He was known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man, and he would always tell Ali, you float like a butterfly, you sting like a bee, you rumble, young man, rumble. With all you've got to use, how can you lose? As I always say, what are you looking forward to in the sports universe? As my beautiful mother always says, there's never an excuse for racism or domestic violence. If you know any man, woman, or child going through that garbage, pick up the phone and ask for help, because no man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. And as we always tell you on every Big C Sports Show, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.